Alright, good morning to you all. And a special good morning to Eon. I haven't finished the video, bruv, yet, but just want to talk on a couple of things you've mentioned already. I have said before, regurgitating facts and figures is not my bag. It's the ideas. I'll have to pick a book up from somewhere to refresh my memory on a couple of things, couple of points. I lent a particular book to a friend years ago and he never gave it back. And I'm sure he read it at least 3 times. My mum bought this book for me, again, and then I insisted that she keep hold of it and read it. I even tried to insist that my younger sister read it. Whether she actually did or not, I don't know. Let me come back. Oh boy. What's that? Eon. Yeah, I wonder often where all the bodies are. Where are my 20 sets of grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-great-grandparents and so on? Where are they all? I've often wondered to myself if the missing children, missing persons thing is real also. Not so much because I don't think it happens. I do question the scale. There was something, a video, Insanity was made the other day. And it was about those supposed people who are now falling in love with nature and want to have sex with it. Well, do you know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know anyone that loves or fancies animals. I don't know anyone that loves or fancies plants, and so I'm not going to worry about these things. Alright, well, I'll make my statement now. I think you're a bit of a plonker if you like or want to do this stuff. Okay, explore the world a bit more. Find another person you can enjoy this stuff with. Yeah, sorry, back to the missing dead. I don't know where the dead bodies are. Perhaps like in the end of that little meat sack video, the cornstarch video, it liquidizes after a while. These headstones in the graveyard are to, I don't know, convince you otherwise. It seems to me the only people that get these are the poor old war heroes and those with money. Those who can afford a nice headstone to last for a couple of years. I must refresh my memory on this. Okay, like I said, that last book of Richard Dawkins I bought in 2011. I haven't really looked into too much of it since then, if I'm honest with you. I have kept track of stuff. I have watched all sorts of stories about Mr. Dawkins, including one of a harassment of a secretary and stuff like that. All right? I'm not saying he's a good guy. I don't know the man. All right. I have watched him closely, and he does get het up about a lot of stuff. But then maybe it's frustrating if you truly believe in something and everybody else is calling you an idiot. I want to touch on the Freemasons and stuff much more at some point. But let me just say for now that any good idea can be corrupted. Yeah. Any good organisation can be infiltrated and corrupted. Now, I'm not saying the Freemasons are good. I just don't know, and in many ways I just don't care. Right? I don't know any personally. They don't interfere with my life personally, as far as I'm aware. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about any sort of political or corporate machinations. These things, of course, they affect me. But in my everyday, day-to-day life with my family and these people I speak to online, at the moment, they're not a bother to me. Though I do have much to say. Charles Darwin, he lived not too far up over that direction, down house. At some point I will go there and make a little video and do a little talk. There's even a little bit further over that way, Chartwell, where Winston Churchill lives. I've been there a few times, I'll take you there as well. That one, for that greedy fat bastard, is one of the most beautiful houses ever. Alright, it's just situated in the most amazing grounds. The house itself is just very cool indeed. But yeah, so down house and the other one where Fatty Churchill was. Oh, where was we? Right, so for Ian, I'm going to come back and have not here properly, but a walk around in the dark. But coming back to the missing people, before I'll come back to the missing dead. For the missing people, there's supposed to be so many of them, and yet how many of you, please, my friends, actually know someone who's gone missing? Actually know someone who's had a missing child? You understand? Because through all my life, through all the schools and all the jobs, and I understand that it might be something that people don't wish to talk about, I fully understand that, but I can find very few people in my life that have had a missing person. Okay? Now, there's all sorts of other ideas and insinuations that go with this. Okay? But just for curiosity's sake, how many people do actually know missing people? You understand? I mean, my dad, my real dad, my blood dad, has not been in my life for 15 years, but he's not a missing person. He's still out there somewhere, it's just not in my life. That's not the same thing, yeah? Don't speculate. I'm not asking you to say, I ain't seen someone for 20 years, they could be missing. No. I'm talking about actual people going missing. Actual reports to the police, walking around the streets looking for your child. Have you ever bumped into anyone looking for their child? Some things are so bizarre, I don't know what the answers are, and a lot of the time I will be just posing questions, even if it sounds like I'm trying to be insistent and thinking I'm right. They're just questions I want answers to, and if I insist I'm right, then maybe someone will contradict me. At the moment, I'll just get a lot of love. I'd like a bit more contradiction. Call me out. Say I'm wrong. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I'm right. Well, I prefer to know when I'm wrong. There are scary thoughts behind the missing people, and where are all the dead bodies? Behind the dead bodies in particular. There's no way everyone in Alton's buried here. Do you understand? No way. And of course there are a couple more graveyards around here, but right, so missing dead, or the evolutionary gap. Right, now, the evolutionary gap is something I've been looking into for as long as I can remember. It's one of the things that drew me to it. What do people mean by gap? Yeah. At one time, I assumed it meant that there was a fossil that looked one way, and then there was a fossil missing, and then a fossil that looked a different way, and they was all talking about the fossil that was missing. Well, that's not what people mean by that. That's not what the missing link is. Richard Dawkins uses an excellent analogy for this, where he takes a whole load of pictures, right, of an individual's face. And let's say the top of the pile is you. Underneath is one parent, underneath that is another parent, and then another parent, until this stack goes down for, say, 10,000 years. Well, Richard Dawkins says that if you take out that one from 10,000 years ago and hold it next to your picture now, you'll see no discernible difference. The people, they will look like humans. You understand? They both will look like humans. The trouble is, when you go back over the millions of years, through the millions of photos, there are gaps. But the discernible difference between the missing gaps is not as big as people would think. There is no sudden massive jump of ape head to human head. What there is a million different pictures with a couple from the first million missing, a couple from the next million missing, a couple from... Now, don't get me wrong, this is what Richard Dawkins says. Now, Stars Our Souls, the channel, one of the reasons I started to watch him so much was because he went to a fucking museum and he asked them to show him the fucking fossils. I want to see the fossils. Where are all these fossils? Where is a picture of each of these millions of fossils that he speaks of? He just speaks of the idea, you understand? He never provided the evidence, okay? And it's only taken me until recently, in the last couple of years, to realise now that a lot of the stuff I have read before was all ideas without evidence. I understand that. But still, there's something in the idea of evolution that is not wrong. Now, let me take yesterday's small wording of the sun, right? It puts an image in your mind. You can't fail to do it. For myself, I'm able to push it to the side very quickly and put my own imagey word in there. But now let's take another word and let's try and forget what it means for a minute. That word is machine. Yeah, that's a man word. Now we know that man tries to imitate nature in his art. Well, what if the secret is, the only fucking secret is, that machines are found within nature? And man has mimicked it and then told everybody that they came up with this idea. Maybe they simply forgot. I think greed and arrogance took over, and the images and ideas they plucked from nature and turned into machines were natural machines that I don't hate to say it, I love to say it, that I can find within my little patterns. You've got enough points between those circles, you can draw anything. Anything. If you can imagine that in a 3D model, the potential's even bigger. Whereby each point is a focal connection point between energetic resonances moving. Do love these fucking mushrooms, excuse my language today. It's Friday, a little bit tired. No gap coming up, we'll come back. I always like the idea of the universal song, the cosmic tune that we all dance to. And I used to think that the dancing of the planets was that. It was never disconcerting for me to think of all the planets moving around at such velocities. I thought that was the cosmic dance. Perhaps it is nothing more than someone's idea of the cosmic dance. And it's a beautiful idea. It's a beautiful idea. Come on, people. Everybody fell in love with Star Trek and Star Wars. Okay? Not everyone. But it wouldn't be the big films it is today if people hadn't fallen in love with this idea. People got carried away with this idea. Just because an idea is presented doesn't mean to say you have to buy it. And yet we cannot seem to help ourselves. With words, we have been convinced of things. If we go back to ancient man and say they had no machines, and we think of today's word machine, you may be right. But they for definite sure had sound. They for definite had a way to present images and ideas to each other. Right, we might not know of it yet. We can guess at it with cave paintings and papyrus, art in little stone jewellery. For myself, I think there was another way. I've come up with many science fiction-y fantasy ideas for it. I'll share quite a few of them with you. Happy to. It's ideas I've realised I've filled my mind up with over the years, never the facts and the figures. And the ideas that Richard Dawkins presents to people are most convincing. Most convincing. The church elders and their religious Bibles are most convincing, aren't they? Maybe not to you and me.